Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Todd, your local art dealer, and I've been a full-time professional artist for over 10 years now. And like a lot of you guys who clicked on this video, I've been a chronic procrastinator for most of those years. I have let people down, ruined relationships, and fell into a horrible depression. So if that sounds like you, keep watching. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys 5 tips that tremendously helped me get my shit together. So quick disclaimer, this advice kind of comes from the world of ADHD and people who have symptoms or people who have been diagnosed with it. I personally have not been diagnosed with it. I don't recommend, self-diagnosis because it can be harmful depending on what you're self-diagnosing. Just by using common sense, I've kind of seen and related to a lot of the things that people gone through. Take this advice with a grain of salt. If something works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So kind of just keep an open mind about this, And who knows, some of this advice might change your life. You never know. Number 1, wake up earlier and get dressed. This advice is geared more towards creatives. So a lot of us may be working from home and kind of set our own schedule, right? And yes, I'll get into that later. But when I wake up earlier, I just automatically feel more productive, Like, I'm not saying, wake up at 4 a.m. and crush it, and just run a marathon. I mean, just like, if you wake up at noon, just start waking up 10 o'clock, maybe 9:30. Like, just that extra step kind of makes you feel more productive. I feel like it really make a big difference in how you operate for the rest of the day. And when I say get dressed, I mean like the whole 9, like put your socks, shoes on, brush your teeth, do all of it. I feel like a lot of us kind of come from the traditional 9 to 5 scene. If you think about it, you probably had a habit of waking up, putting on your uniform, putting on your clothes, and then driving to work. So when you do that, you kind of change your mindset. Like, okay, now I'm going to work. Because if you think about it, it's so easy to feel like a slob and kind of grumble around your house, especially if you work from home, if you're just in your pajamas all day, Like, I feel like we, subconsciously or even consciously equate like comfortable clothes or PJs to unproductive and lazy, Honestly, just by looking good, you feel good, baby. Number 2, eliminate distractions in your environment. If this was like 2 months ago, there is no fucking way I would be able to have my PS4 in the same room as my home office or studio. I'd be playing Apex Legends for like 4 hours straight. But at this point, I have a lot more self-control and I've cultivated the ability to trust myself. And I'll touch more on that in the next tip. Like, try to make your home office or studio feel more comfortable. Like, if you look around, like, this room feels good to me. Making sure it's customized to you as well. But, try putting up your favorite art piece. Like, I have a candle lit right now. I try to make sure I smell good and feel good. I love the lighting that I use. Just make sure when you walk into your studio, you just feel inspired and ready to create, Like, make it conducive to a very productive environment. Even like with the way I decorate it, I've eliminated almost all my drawers. Now all of my art supplies are within arm's reach of me. Because I realized, like, back to the kind of ADHD side of things, a symptom of ADHD is actually the lack of object permanence. I didn't realize that, and then once I learned that, it made so much sense to me. So basically, if you don't see it, you literally forget that it exists. If it's out of sight, it's literally out of mind. I find myself buying like doubles or triples of the same thing and I realize that I had it. Most people get so much anxiety about starting to draw because there's just so much going on. They're like, all right, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just gonna like give up and take a nap or play Apex. And the idea of like object permanence is a huge theme, especially the way I schedule and plan. And I'll touch on that in a minute. Number 3, adopt the 2-minute rule. So I actually got this advice from one of my favorite content creators on here. His name is Struthless. And he talks about the 2-minute rule, right? So the 2-minute rule is basically, if something takes less than 2 minutes to do it, do it. Like, let's say you walk past a dirty dish in the sink, clean that shit. Let's say you yell Kobe and try to throw a piece of trash into the garbage, but you missed. Like, get up and go throw it away, Like, by doing that, you actually build up the habit of trusting yourself because you're doing what you say you're gonna do, right? Not only that, when you declutter your environment, you also declutter your mind. You're kind of taking off the mental load that you have. Once you trust yourself like that, you'll be able to move mountains. But it's baby steps over here. So now you have all this trust in yourself. What do you do with it now? So this actually brings me to my next tip: scheduling and planning your day. I remember thinking that I was someone who had to schedule like every hour of my day. I want to be able to, have an alarm that says 9 a.m., wake up, 9:45, get breakfast, and all these different things. And if that works for you, that is totally fine, please do it. But with me, I realized that when I give myself these small time restraints, it kind of gives me anxiety because I feel like I'm not fitting within these like perfect confines of time, right? So like, let's say something takes me 3 hours instead of 2, now I'm panicking, trying to play catch up, and it gave me more anxiety than it should have, So a big part of all this is self-awareness. Like, you gotta understand what kind of person you are. And if you're someone like me, I love lists. Like, if I'm going to the grocery store, I don't want to go into the grocery store without a list because I will forget something or get something that I'm not supposed to have. So when I have a list, I'm actually adhering to like 95% of it, like if not 100. I also feel like that most of us overestimate how much we could get done in a day. So I think it's really important to only do 1 to 2 things a day. So one thing that I do at the beginning of my week, I'll get like maybe 10 things I need to do that week, right? And I would delegate each day to have a 1 or 2 tasks, right? That way, if you do those 1 or 2 things, you'll feel super good about it and it makes you actually want to do more. Because on the other hand, some people have too much on their plate and they can't reach it. So no matter how much they got done, they feel like they still failed because they didn't do everything on their list, right? That way I'm not as overwhelmed. Let's say I have a painting to do, right? I want to say, hey, do Joe's painting. I would say, what makes up this painting? Probably have to, gesso the board, do my outline, do the first layer, do the second layer, maybe some details, maybe varnish it, and maybe get a frame. But if I think I have to do all that in one day, I will get so overwhelmed. And usually a lot of us get analysis paralysis where we just don't do anything because it's easier, which really is not, because it's gonna hurt you in the long term, and we all know that. Consistency will build habits and trust within yourself. I cannot stress enough, I find myself just not trusting what I would say or do. And that's a horrible thing to have because you also have a bad reputation because of it. Also, circling back to object permanence, I literally almost never close my planner. And I've been consistently writing it for about 40 days now. If this was me a year ago, I think the max I've ever done where I consistently did it was 3 or 4 days. If you're a creative person, you probably have all your thoughts kind of floating around in the air, right? So usually when you give it some purpose and actually write it down, you kind of give it like this anchor to pull it down. And that way you kind of freed up your mental space. So you don't have to think, okay, do I gotta do this today? You just go to your planner, look at it. So what do you have to do? So you kind of leave some room for, leisure and things like that, because don't forget, having a work and life balance is very, very important. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, customize this to how you work as a person. Number 5, be strict with your boundaries and learn how to say no. I feel like another big problem that a lot of entrepreneurs have, especially if you work from home, is that people assume that you have more free time than you do. You work probably more than other people. Since I kind of changed this into a 9 to 5, I have a good structure. Now I wake up at 8, 9 o'clock I come in, and I'm doing work only on that time. If I'm gonna get some food, I set myself a lunch break, right? And that was one of the biggest problems I had, even with people who live with me, like my girlfriend, for example. She would see that I'm at home, so she wants to hang out. But I'm like, no, I'm at work right now. So you kind of have to have that separation between the two. You don't want to be pushed and pulled by your friends by saying, hey, do you want to hang out today? Knowing that you could get away with it, but you have to keep that boundary and that consistency. Try telling your friends, hey, from Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, I'm at work. So please do not hit me up trying to hang out. We have to schedule it afterwards, right? Doing that has really helped me a lot, and it kind of keeps everything nice and separate. All right, guys, so to recap. Number 1, wake up earlier and get dressed. Number 2, eliminate distractions in your environment. Number 3, adopt the 2-minute rule. 4, scheduling and planning your day. 5, set boundaries and learn how to say no. But yeah, if you guys found value in this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I really, really hope this helps you. Please make sure you try to implement some of these. Pick one of your favorites and just do that. I really appreciate you guys. Love you, bye.